Today we are going to be a large group of many students. So we have students from Nairobi, from Nakuru, Lamu, and Mombasa. And we're going to have our judges as well and our guest speaker. So thank you so much for making time for this meeting today. I'll hand over the meeting to Dr. Judith. Then she'll proceed to the next level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Catherine. I really appreciate everybody who has joined. You've done a lot of work this time. As I'm looking at the videos and the recordings, the postings that have been done by the various teachers, it's just really been nice to have you do all that you have done. So I just want to appreciate all of us who have participated in Emerging for Debating, Debating for Emerging Voices, sorry. Like, your voices are really being heard. As I listen to those, the video recordings and all that has been done, I'm just amazed at how much work that has been done by every member. The coaches, the names changed from patrons to coaches because we are using the Lincoln Douglas debating model or format. And that is so beautiful. I really want to appreciate. I can see on call Teacher Gishangi of Karima Girls, Teacher Dr. Koth Antonin of State House Girls. I can see Teacher Isaac of Mwiki. Probably there are others whose names I can't see right now, but I really want to appreciate you. And for all the students who are taking part, you are building yourself. It's more than debate for me. I was telling Teacher Isaac, more than debating. It's about building your life to be better than what you are originally. It is about becoming a good speaker. It's about networking. It's my prayer that even after this meeting, we'll get to know each other and work together, meet the coaches to meet each other, work together, help each other, even in terms of academic work, so that beyond debate, we will have more. It's also my desire that we get exposed, especially to the corners, and find out the resources that are there. Today, I found out there were so many resources. I was so pleasantly shocked. I actually borrowed some for myself, like one, the greatest speeches that are there. Then something about think before you post something on the internet, your reputation and privacy on social networking sites. So kindly visit those areas because they are for us. That is why we are there. So I just want to finish at that point and welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Jemima Nyangasi Wabuko. I am a judge in this very awesome program. And today I will be presenting, or rather sharing, my experiences in the two judgment assignments I had for Lamu and Nairobi. So I'll be basically sharing on strengths and weaknesses so that we see areas of improvement. So Kathy, I don't know, can I share my screen?
Let me.
Or I can share with you the presentation.
No need for that. I could just give you the permission to do so. Is it on? Try now.
Okay, let me.
Are you able to? Okay.
Yes,
good.
I am. So to make my work a bit easier, I came up with a short presentation on debating for emerging voices. I believe this is the first mentorship. So as I said, my name is Jemima Nyangasi, and I'm a judge in this program. So first, I would like to highlight the speeches and the times. As we all know, because we have participated in this debate, The affirmative constructive speech is 6 minutes. The cross-examination by the negative is 3 minutes. Negative constructive speech is 7 minutes. Cross-examination by affirmative is 3 minutes. Affirmative rebuttal, 4 minutes. Negative rebuttal and summary, 6 minutes. Affirmative summary is 3 minutes. Sorry, someone.
Kathy, you can mute. You can mute. Whoever is not speaking.
Well,
Yeah,
so
I think it's okay now. Sorry, you can go on.
No
Jamie,
problem. Now,
Jamie,
I wanted
Jamie, go on. Jamie, just before you go on, I want to recognize the presence of Dr. Maria. She's on call. We'll be waiting
Hi,
for her speech.
good evening. Thank
Good
you. Good
evening.
evening.
Right.
Sorry for joining in late.
No, it's no problem. So our judge, Jemima, is just taking us through a few things on the Lincoln debating model, and then we will move on from there. We're so happy to see you. Jamie, go on.
Thank you.
Okay.
welcome Maria, Dr. Maria. So I was sharing on the timings because I noticed that we didn't use our time efficiently. And also, let us not introduce cross-examination during rebuttals. And, arguments introduced node. This is because the opposing side may not have an opportunity to respond to the new argument. So coaches and debaters, kindly note that. And then my second slide, I'll share our considerations as judges while awarding points. So first we look at the organization and clarity, use of argument, use of cross-examination and rebuttal, your presentation, and then your style, tone of voice, clarity of expression, precision, and arguments, how you just argue your points. So it is important now on presentation, because I noticed or I realized that we'll be doing some of the debates virtually. So when you're sharing your written submissions, kindly indicate the speaker's code on every page, and they also page the numbers. It makes our work very easy so that we're able to know whose debate this submission is for. So, and then I would go to now the strengths I noticed. I noticed the following strengths. So some speakers really maximized on the use of awarded time during affirmative constructive speech, which was very, very good, because this is the time you are introducing your points. So if you maximize.
Jamie, you have muted.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who muted me because I didn't touch it anyway.
I think I'm the one who muted you. Sorry. I was trying to mute a few people who had joined.
No problem. Okay, so maybe I'll start with the considerations while awarding points. First, we look at the organization and clarity of your work, both in written and verbal. We look at use of argument, use of cross-examination and rebuttal, then presentation in terms of verbally and written. How is your work? Is it typed? Is it, even if it's written, is it well organized? And then also look at the style of your verbal presentation. That comes to your tone of voice, your clarity of expression, your precision, and your arguments. And then it is very important to label each page, because, for instance, during the Lamu debate, we did it virtually, and you're sharing your work on you're sharing your work via WhatsApp. So imagine an instance where you're just sharing your work and you've not labeled all the pages. You indicated the speaker's code. It becomes a bit hard for us judges, because somehow we might, but it doesn't break a bone to make our work easier. And then also indicate the page numbers on every page. It makes our work very easy. And then I'll look at, I'll mention some of the strengths we noticed. So some speakers really maximized on the use of awarded time, and especially during the affirmative constructive speech and the negative constructive speech. That is very important because that is when you're introducing your topic. So that is when you have the opportunity to state your points clearly. So if you use your time well, it really will make you do well throughout the debate. Then some speakers were confident. That was very, very notable, and we applaud them for that. And then some speakers maintained great eye contact, especially during cross-examination. So we could see you're looking at your opponent while you're cross-examining them, and that was very, very commendable. And then great use of cross-examination. So how are you asking the questions? How are you introducing some new aspects? How are you rebutting? So that was also really, really notable. And then great examples to indicate proof of evidence. So are you just telling us a point, or you're backing it with proof? So those who provided proof of evidence, it was very, very commendable. And then some speakers had great posture. We encourage you to continue with the same. And then in-depth research, especially on contention. So in-depth research means, are you quoting the source?
Seems like we've lost Jamie.
Or you're just telling us this point and for that. And then persuasiveness. Some speakers were really, really persuasive, and we applaud you for that. And then we also had a speaker during the Lamu debate. Only one speaker had the value and criterion, so we applaud her for that. So in future, kindly just ensure, go through the Lincoln Douglas debate format and let that format come out clearly when you're doing it. And then there's a speaker who defended his arguments well in the first stage, but during cross-examination, he really, really did well. So that is very good. So use of cross-examination. And then great charisma. We had a speaker who had amazing charisma, and then had several points of contention. So we had a speaker who had like not just one point of contention, but several. So it really, really gave them points on that. And then great presentation of written work. We even had someone who typed and someone who wrote, but wrote very clearly, numbered the pages, indicated their code. That was very commendable. And then great written presentation. I've mentioned that one. I think we are done. We are done with the, we are not, okay, let me just share something more on the strength. So a well thought out written submission. So when you present to us your written work, how does it come out? So for those who did well, we really applaud you for that. Then great presentation. There's a speaker who, oh, that one I mentioned, the one who typed her work. And then there's a speaker who conducted in-depth research, but unfortunately she had only one point of contention. So kindly look into that. And then we had a speaker who maintained a calm demeanor. Okay, we're not saying you should have a calm demeanor. You can be charismatic, you can be calm, but there's a speaker who had a calm demeanor, but maintained it throughout, was very confident. So putting together confidence and still you're calm, it really, really, I mean, it was very, very commendable. And then great framework. Framework is just the Lincoln Douglas format. There's a speaker who really, really had a good framework, and then a concise and logical flow of ideas. There's a speaker who, like, you could just see a flow of ideas. You know, it's like a story being told. It became very interesting, very informative for us, and we really, really commend them for that. And then it is also worth noting that the speaker is a speaker who had a very vocal opponent, but nevertheless, she rose to the occasion and debated competitively. She was able to match her opponent by speaking with vigor. We really, really applaud her for that. And then this speaker, there's a speaker also who had a high level of charisma, I must say. It's a speaker we would have loved to see proceed to the next level. He exhibited immense talent and passion. His charisma could not go unnoticed. Unfortunately, our hands were tied with the Lincoln Douglas guidelines, which provide the operations. Relying on charismatic delivery alone are not well developed arguments. Okay, so as much as we want you to be charismatic, but kindly put into consideration that declarations relying on charismatic delivery alone are not well developed. So kindly look into that. And then there's a team that exhibited a lot of work. Well, there's a team that exhibited a lot of teamwork during this. Okay, let me proceed. There's a team that exhibited a lot of teamwork. So we could see their team members listening keenly to what they're saying and very quickly doing research. We could notice doing research and writing some notes, and then during the breaks sharing with the speakers or the debaters. So that was really, really commendable from the teams. And then a concise and logical flow ideas. I think I mentioned that one. So I'll go to the weaknesses. There was a waste of time, unfortunately. For instance, there's a speaker who wasted her time during the affirmative rebuttal by only spending 1 minute and 30 seconds of the 4 minutes provided. She also did not use her time well during the affirmative summary by spending only 1 minute of the 3 minutes provided. So kindly maximize on the use of time so that you don't lose points. Then there's a speaker who had only 1 point of contention. Then an inadequate research, a speaker just mentioning this and not quoting the sources or telling us this act of parliament and not telling us which specifically act. So that was inadequate research. Kindly look into that. And then protocol and decorum. So there's a speaker who just casually referred to the CS of education as Magoha. Kindly let's not do that. And then on waste of time, there's also a speaker who spent only 2 minutes, 32 seconds, and only of the 7 minutes awarded during the affirmative rebuttal and affirmative summary. 7 minutes and you're only spending 2 minutes, really, that is a lot of waste of time. So you end up losing a lot of points. And then speakers during the...
May I interrupt? Jimmy,
yes.
Sorry, I think we have just 1 minute to go.
Okay, sir, no problem. So I think I'll share the notes later. So let me just note, important to note, the role of a judge is not to determine who is a better speaker, but rather who is the better debater in that round. A successful debater will focus on enhancing his or her ideas while invalidating his or her opponent's ideas. The cases presented and the refutations provided both require well-developed argumentations. So declarations relying on charismatic delivery alone, let me insist on that, are not well-developed arguments. To have a complete argument, a debater should establish his or her claim or respond to his or her opponent's claim and the warrant or why the declaration is true and establishes impact or why it matters. So I'll stop at this point and over to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Jemima, for that excellent presentation. I hope everyone is taking into account the points and we'll be able to use them the next time we'll be debating at level 2. At this point, I'd like to welcome our speaker for the day, Dr. Maria. I'm excited to hear from her. I don't know how many of us have watched her story on YouTube. She's an amazing, amazing lady, and I can't wait to hear from her. So Karibu sana daktari. Let me unmute you so that you're able. Let me unmute you so that you're able to begin your presentation. So welcome.
Kathy, hi, good evening. How much time do I have?
Let me see. Dr. Judith, how much time do we have?
We had given her 30 minutes. I hope we'll work well on time. We will not really exceed.
Okay.
30 minutes will
Okay.
do, because getting somebody all the way from Romania, it's a lot of money.
30 minutes is more than ample time. So,
Great.
So a very good evening to all of us who are listening to tonight. Thank you so much for making time to join us. And thank you, Dr. Ogweno, for giving me the opportunity to speak to these young students of ours in the debate club who are doing fantastic things. It's always a pleasure to come back and talk to Kenyans who are making small strides in whatever fields they're doing. So, kwa majina, I am Dr. Maria Bael. I am a Kenyan, and I am an ENT surgeon and an aesthetic facial surgeon based in Bucharest, Romania. It is my pleasure and honor to be here in this platform. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the things that I consider very important and the things that shaped me to becoming the doctor that I am right now. And if there's someone who has a question, perhaps maybe at the end of the course, there's a bracket where you could write questions and I can try to answer them. So the topic of today's discussion was one that I completely love. It is overcoming obstacles through resilience. We are going through a very difficult period right now in the world with all the transformations. We just came through a period of 2 years with COVID. And right now, me being in Romania, sharing a border with Ukraine, it becomes very difficult, very hard. And you ask yourself, what do I need to do to keep grounded? What do I need to do to remind myself of my purpose? What do I need to do to not get into all this anxiety that is all around us? And it goes back to the foundation that I built for myself. I came from a very good background and I got my education at State House Girls. I think I am proudly a Statarian and I always boast about this notion. So high school gave me a very good foundation for the woman I am today. Why do I say that? There are very important things that I was taught in high school. Most important is discipline. The way we would complain that, okay, the bell rings at 5 o'clock in the morning and by 7 o'clock we have to be down at the school for education, for our preps. And, we had such a very strict time schedule. And this discipline has trickled down to my day-to-day life. Discipline is very important for anyone who wants to be successful. Discipline is very important for anyone who wants to make steps in whatever field that they are doing. Why do I say discipline? When you are disciplined, you form a habit, and the habit equals to your life choices. For example, I did medicine in a language that was not my own. The medicine I did was in the Romanian language. I had to do Romanian language school for 6 months. And in these 6 months, you can imagine learning a foreign language and then going into medical school. So you don't really have time to grasp the language. You don't have time to understand the language. And after this, you have to go into a very important course. You can imagine how medicine is hard for English speakers, or for those who go to Nairobi University, for example, it's very difficult. So in 6 months, I had to learn the Romanian language. And after this, I got into medical school. The first 3 years were extremely difficult for me. The first 3 years were a challenge. I would ask myself very many times if this is the right choice for me. Did I do the right thing to come and do medicine in Romania? And I remembered as a young girl, coming from an African setting, because okay, I'm here in a European setting. We always say failure is not an option. And this is one of my sayings. I always say failure is not an option. I remember God gave me this chance to come and study here. So I should not put my peers or my country or people who appreciate me to shame. So what I would do, and this results back to discipline, I would wake up in the morning at 5 in the morning, I'd put my feet in cold water, and that's how I would study. So I didn't know what I was studying. The language was a very important factor for me, and I would read. So my first grades in my first year of medical school was ranging between 5 and 6, which is just a pass, that's average. That did not deter me. That made me understand, okay, if I can get a 5 with my limited Romanian, my limited grasp in the language, in the Romanian language, then it means if I worked harder, if I persisted, and if I was resistant and learned more, then perhaps maybe I could get better grades. And that's how it happened. So I would continuously wake up graciously every day at 5 o'clock, study. And before I know it, I was getting 10s, I was getting 9s, and I became a very good student. This to show that discipline is very important for us young people who want to go out there in the world and make changes. When you set yourself targets. Again, another thing I wanted to say is creating habits, healthy habits, good habits. You say to yourself, I want to become a doctor. You say to yourself, I want to become a pilot. You decide for yourself that I want to become a professor, a lawyer, an artist, a footballer. You have to know every day you have to challenge yourself and say, this is what I'm going to do for myself. That's the target I want to get, and don't let anything shake from you. You can't decide today morning you're going to be waking up at 5 o'clock. For example, if someone wants to be a footballer, you wake up at 5 o'clock this morning, you go for training, then tomorrow you change your mind. So creating healthy habits, they normally give us around a range of 28 days. Within a 28-day period frame, you get to create a healthy habit. Why did I find this topic very important for me, and why did I choose to want to participate in this forum? Is because me being in Romania was never easy, and I never actually anticipated how difficult things would be for a person who grew up in Kenya going to foreign land, especially Eastern Europe. And what kept me through was the life lessons that I had learned during my background that I actually didn't ever take notice about. I never at one point would think that what I learned in high school would trickle down to my day-to-day life to become the person I am right now. For those who don't know me, I'll just give you a very quick story of my background, just a very big resume of who I am and how I got to where I am. So I did my studies at State House Girls High School. By the grace of God, I ended up getting a scholarship to do medicine in Romania. So my scholarship was fully paid. So I got a scholarship, my stipendium, and my accommodation was paid by the Romanian state. I got to do medical school in the University of Medicine in Bucharest. That was 6 years, and I did my residency in ENT surgery for 5 years. So in total, I went to school for around 11 years. In between, of course, you have your ups and downs, and I'm currently an ENT surgeon, and I'm also owner of my private practice. So I also have a private practice. And all this to show you that I left Nairobi with a notion that I want to become a successful surgeon. I left Nairobi knowing that nothing is going to deter me from what I have planned for myself. When I was boarding that plane, I said to myself, I'm going to be a good doctor, and I'm going to make sure I make waves and changes in that area or field that I choose. And this is because I knew failure is not an option. For you, young ladies and gentlemen, you face something that I see very much in the Kenyan society, and this is peer pressure. For us wanting to change, for us wanting to prove to the society, for us wanting to fit into the society, there's a lot of peer pressure coming from all faces, where you are expected to behave this way, or you're expected to go in a certain way, or expected to behave in a certain way. And I'd like to encourage those who are listening to us this evening that is not the way. You don't need to be rich overnight. You don't need to look a certain way. You don't need to wear a certain way. You don't need to wear a certain clothes or cologne. Be disciplined. Some people can say it's very hard right now in Kenya. Inflation is very high. We don't have jobs. There are no job opportunities for us. And then you might decide to want to go the shorter route. Mine is to encourage you and to tell you, the minute you are disciplined, the minute you have your healthy habits and you lay your foundation in a certain way, it takes, for the people who want to do good, it takes a long time. For you who wants to make a change, the process is not tomorrow. It takes a long while. So I would really encourage you to always stay focused and always remember your target, and don't let anything sway you from your targets. Another thing I would advise my peers or those who are in this forum to look for mentors. Look for mentors, look for people that you could look upon. Look for people people that you could look upon who you like what they do. There are very many wonderful, brilliant men and women out there, you know, and you identify one and go to that person and approach that person and tell them, do you mind being my mentor? Because I've come to realize a person who has already gone through that turmoil, a person who has already been molded by life experiences is in a very good position to explain to you and to help you avoid the mistakes that they have done. I mentor quite a number of young ladies, and I am very proud of the young women that they are becoming. Majority of the young ladies that I am helping are in agriculture, law, executive human resources, and these are ladies who are young, 23, 24, and chose me to become a mentor. I actually was not prepared for that. But again, going through the experiences that I have, I thought it was in a good place to be able to advise the young ladies and to tell them this is the way and this is not the way. So with my story, coming into Europe, coming in a Black lady, right? I use color very much because I stand out. In Romania, we have very few Africans. I think we are less than 100 in total in the whole country. In a country of a population of around, let's say, we are around maybe 15 million or 20 million thereabout. So I stand out. You need to work 10 times harder than your peers because they already think, okay, an African cannot achieve the same as a white person. And having mentors and having people who held my hand, having people who encouraged me, having people who told me that's the way to go really helped a lot. So if you could identify mentors in Kenya, abroad, who could help you in whatever field that you want to choose, that goes a very long way in helping you become who you are. Also, it's very important to choose a mentor. Why? A mentor comes as a friend. A mentor comes as a peer. A mentor comes as a mom and a dad. A mentor comes as a big sister. A mentor comes as a big brother. So they're just not going to mentor you in your career path. They're going to mentor you in your life choices. They're going to mentor you in your decisions concerning you. You know, they're going to talk to you about finances. They're going to tell you, this is how you invest. This is how you multiply your money. This is how you do ABCD. So it's also very important to, you have your discipline, you have your target goals, you have habits, and you have mentors. The second thing, one of the other things that I want to talk about is determination. Don't be deterred. Don't be shaken by what's happening around you. Don't be discouraged by what is happening around you. The minute you have your determination, irrespective of whatever background you have, run with it. Run with it and do what you love. Don't let anyone ever discourage you. And at any point, if you feel discouraged, please look for people like us who've gone through it already. Look for Dr. Ogwen and tell her, Doc, what can I do? How can I get out of this situation? And so with all these things that I'm talking about, I was able to mold myself into the woman I am today. I own a practice. I have 3 doctors who are under me. And our overall ambition is to be able to come home and to change the medical space in aesthetic surgery, because that's the field I am. Little did I know that this girl from Pangani, from Isili, would be here, you know, in this forum. Little did I know that this girl in Pangani, hopefully in a couple of years, will be opening an aesthetic practice in Kenya. So from my background, Demwa Mta, Demwa Pango, you know, coming into the world. Again, I didn't have godfathers. I didn't have money. I'm not coming from a rich family. But one thing I can know is that I saw my focus, I saw my target, and nothing shocked me from that till date. You know, till date, I'm still very disciplined with my practices. I'm awake by 4 o'clock. I'm gymming. I'm going to the gym. I'm taking my run, because a healthy life is you need to be healthy, right? So I gym, I exercise, and I go to work. So this is just to show you my brothers and sisters that don't give up. Things are not easy right now, not only in Kenya, all over the world, things are looking glim. But my news to you is that to please stay focused, be determined, don't let anything shake you, don't let anything discourage you. And if at all there's a point where you feel like you can't go on, please reach out. It's good to talk when you feel that you can't anymore. And know that if we could do it within very constrained environment, so can you. This is just my very short word of encouragement to those present in this forum. I've spoken quite fast. I apologize for that, but just to say thank you again, Dr. Ogweno, for giving me this opportunity. But I hope mine is a testimony to everyone who's listening in, and just to encourage them that Stay focused, believe in yourself, and don't let anything shake you. There are very many platforms that are out there created, especially for the young Africans. There are very many platforms that are being created, and a lot of emerging spaces for the young African person to give you the support that you need to get you where you want to be. So if you don't know how to access those platforms, please get in touch with us. But know there's some people who are rooting out for you, people who are out here who have nothing but good intentions for you and want nothing but the best for you. Yeah, I hope my small, very quick talk encourages someone out there. God bless. Thank you so much. I think you're muted, Doc. Kathy, please unmute. Unmute.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. That is so beautiful. I know we'll ask a few questions after. I wanted the two judges to finish, then we can ask questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just wanted to ask you one thing. What,
please.
It's a hard question, but what has been your lowest moment, especially as a student,
Right.
apart from putting your legs in water at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I was very discouraged, to be honest. My parents never prepared me. I think they also didn't know what I was getting myself into. They called me a crow. They called me monkey. We got attacked in the streets in Romania. We got beaten up. We got discriminated upon. I didn't ever think, never at any time in my life did I ever consider myself a Black person. I knew myself as a daughter of Eric and Betty. I never saw myself as a Black woman. I never used color when addressing issues concerning me. And when I came to Romania, that was very dominant, and they made me understand that I'm a Black person. It really hurt when they'd call me a monkey. It really hurt when we would go into facilities and they deny us access to whatever facilities we wanted on the basis of our skin. And this is actually what I faced right now when I was trying to get the Kenyan students out of Ukraine. We had a good number of Kenyan students blocked in Ukraine. We had around 207 students. 170 students were evacuated safely, except the last 30 that we got out last week. And they also witnessed a lot of discrimination. So discrimination is rampant. You can imagine you can be a bold person, you can be a very energetic person, you can be a very charismatic person, you can be a very outgoing person, but when someone judges you on the basis of your color, and it's not like you went and wrote a letter to God and told him, please make me black, brown, or yellow. When our parents tell us we are judged by your habits, you're judged by your behavior and not by the basis of your skin. So this was one of my hardest moments when I had to face discrimination, and I didn't know how to face discrimination. I didn't know how to protect myself against discrimination. But right now I can stand for the rest. Right now I can stand also for the young ones that have been discriminated upon. We had a very strong voice. We were very vocal, and I can tell you we managed to get the 30 Kenyan students who are blocked in Ukraine out to safety because of this voice that we have harnessed in these years. Yeah. Wow. So it was a low point. It was a low point that has been now harnessed into something strong.
How beautiful. You know, that just tells me one thing, especially for those of us on call, the adults and the students and the young people, that no matter what challenges we have, the obstacles, keep focusing. I think you've talked about the determination. Right now, probably you would have said, oh, I don't feel I can go on call because I'm depressed, I've been doing this. But here you are, you're moving on. And I believe for me, that is the lesson that I'm carrying. So just hang on there. I'm sure there are people who will ask questions.
Thank you.
People, feel free to type your questions. I want to bring in judges. Kathy, can you bring in a judge? At least they finished. They were given 5 minutes each. So we'll finish and then we wrap up.
This discussion is quite exciting. I mean, just hearing from...
switched on my camera to say hi, and then if you can allow me, I can switch it off. I'm loading my network wherever I am, so I hope everyone is okay this evening. Very well. So firstly, let me commend our good doctor. Thank you very much for that inspirational story. How I wish this story can be able to actually reach out to the many high schoolers we have in Kenya, because I mean, that would be a good place to actually start by hearing this story, so that people can be able to know that it's not just, I mean, the hardship that we undergo. Maybe there are other people who have undergone greater hardships like those. So you don't have to give up regardless the difficulties that you're going through. So thank you very much, Daktari. And that was very inspirational to even myself, who maybe I'm not as a high schooler, but thank you very much for that. So allow me to just share some insights. I'll just do general insights because my colleague, fellow judge, Jamie, was able to share in detail what we have been able to do. So my name is Maina. I'm serving as a judge. I'm privileged to serve as a judge in this program. And I was sitting I was privileged to judge the sitting in Nakuru, where we had 2 schools from Nyandarua County and Nakuru County. So firstly, it was very impressive because one of the things that I noted was the great interest that the students had by actually coming in large numbers. Dr. was telling me that the numbers that were expected, actually the students came more than that. So I don't think there's anyone who goes to an event that they are not interested in. So to me, that was an indication that the interest for debating amongst the students is not, it's not something new, yes, but for this particular one, it was something that, it is like reigniting some sort of interest in this, whole topic. So that was very impressive for me. And the other very notable thing was that the students were they were actually conducting themselves in a very mature manner, because someone would expect that maybe if someone is coming with a cheering squad, the squad is surely coming to cheer, but there was nothing like disorder in the room, and the students conducted themselves in a great manner. So I wish to commend them, and also their patrons who, of course, were able to prepare them for that particular time. So that was impressive to me as a judge. And the other great thing that I noted also, and this one is specifically to the coaches, the students had a lot of content, regardless the time they used to debate or the rebuttals and of course the affirmatives. The students had a lot of content in terms of sharing. So maybe they could sometimes go beyond the time, or they could utilize their time, but you could tell, it was a first time, so that was expected, but you could tell that this was content. So the coaches, there was evidence that the coaches did a lot of good work on the background. And that's the spirit that the coaches should have, especially starting by believing in their students, because these students, until you possibly expose them outside the school environment with a challenge, that's when possibly you're able to even unlock their potential and discover what is it that you're able to do. So that is very commendable to the judges. Then the last thing I would wish to mention is, of course, some challenges that were noted, and I wouldn't wish to return to the many that Judge Jemima stated, but one that was very that I experienced that was not very good during the debating time. And of course, the setup for the debating, of course, is one school debating on this side and the other one on this side. Of course, the debaters stand at the front. So I think at the very beginning, the first session, we had some little oversight whereby student from Karema Girls. I hope, Daktari, I hope it's okay to mention the names of the schools maybe at this time. Yes, so there was Karema Girls and there was Moi Forces. So on the side of Moi Forces, of course, the student from Moi Forces ought not to have stood on that side. They were supposed to exchange, so that there is nothing like maybe some whispers of prompting the student on what to say, or even passing of notes. But unfortunately, actually it was a comment that was passed to me by one contestant, that there were some notes that were attempted to be given out. So such a comment being presented when maybe the first session has happened becomes a bit challenging for the judge, because it might discredit the entire planning. So that one calls, of course, on discipline, and Dr. Maria was very eloquent on that one. So it's discipline all through. That one, of course, the coach doesn't have to emphasize on, but it's about discipline, having discipline as an individual, so that you don't expect that the teacher has to be there for you to conduct yourself in a good way. So that is just what I would wish to mention. But again, just to emphasize the fact that the debating club, the Debating for Emerging Voices Club is for me, it's a great experience, and I want to believe that it will also be a great experience for the teachers, or rather the coaches and the students as well, and we believe that it's going to move on beyond the first phase. Thank you so very much, Daktari, for this opportunity, and may the Debating for Emerging Voices project move beyond this first phase. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Judge Maina. Thanks for those observations. Yes, we're here to be helped in every way, to be applauded, and also to be corrected. We are all getting better with time. Please say something, and I'll prompt us by asking Teacher Isaac to be the first one. And then I can see Antonine, I can see Clave from Lamu Boys. We want to hear your voices briefly.
Thank you, Daktari. Evening, everyone. Dr. Maria, thank you so much. I don't know whether I could say good evening. I don't know the timing at Bucharest, but we are glad that you have, in a nutshell, inspired generation. That a lady from Mta still have the sharing with you. We are glad that you're able to connect through that, and you have given us or inspired this generation that regardless of where one finds themselves, if they have purpose to move to that grade level, they can. Probably I'm wondering, and I've just posted that question, whether you have a forum where such voices can be, discrimination and other things can be voiced out, so that we are able to pick out. If were it not for you being assertive, the 13 who are stuck in Ukraine, we could not have rescued, but out of you voicing out, we were able to get. Sorry about going through those discrimination and all those things, but you never gave up. We would like to have such a forum, whether through blogging or other issues, where we can be able to raise this, voice it out in a way that we are able to bring out values, not just shouting, but to make sense out of such things that are happening, so that we are able to make the society even a better place to be in. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, Isaac. Good evening, and thank you so much. I saw your comments on the chat group. Thank you so much for the kind words. So we have a saying, what doesn't break you makes you stronger. And this is my testimony. And as a result of what I have gone through, I always say that I'm going to be my brother and my sister's keeper. So we went through this very difficult period with the 30 Kenyan students who were in Ukraine. And I always told them, you see what if one door is closed, 2 windows are going to open. So from Ukraine, most of them are in Romania now, and we are trying to get them into Romanian universities. The majority of them, actually 90% of them, are medical students. And I have been talking to the professors, I've been talking to the universities, the medical universities, and I can say with a great, a big smile on my face that majority of them are going to be taken into our medical education system. And this is because of grace of God. So that small voice has been able to make a change to these young boys and girls, because they are very young ladies and gentlemen. And another thing that I take it upon myself, because when I was growing up, in my generation, we had people that we looked up to, like Dr. Ogweno, my mom, my dad. These are people I looked up to. I don't know what the 2 generations behind us, I don't know who they're looking at. I don't know if it's Akina Real Housewives of Syokimau. I don't know. Those are the people that people are looking at in terms of peers. And I said it upon myself, I'm going to give myself out, and I'm going to let people use me for their better and for their good. And for this reason, a group of friends of mine are going to have a 3-day, very beautiful summit in the month of November. We are going to be bringing people from the Silicon Valley, from San Francisco, New York. We are talking about 3 days of tech, innovation, medicine, mentoring. You know, we want them to get exposed. We want our peers. This is how much I love my country. This is how much I love my peers. I want them to have the right exposure because I got the right exposure. So I've taken it upon myself with my friends. We are a group of around 5 people who are doing this tech summit. So it's going to be a tech summit, and we want as many youth people to come as they can. And also we're talking to the stakeholders and telling them, please, can you please give work opportunities or shadowing opportunities to our students? Can our students come and join you in Silicon Valley? Can they come to New York, in Wall Street, and so forth and so forth? So if we could have like another extra Maria, or we could have people like me who understand and see the value of giving back to the society that has helped them become what they are, then we would be very far. But upon me, myself, I've said and I've chosen to use my platform for positivity.
Wow. Wow.
And Isaac, so I'm going to be having a YouTube channel, and also I have a lot of online participation on my social medias where we can online engage and talk about various subjects. So I'm always very open and transparent to have engagements, not only in the medical field, but anyone who feels like they're having a bad day, they don't know who to talk to, they can't address their parents, they can't go to their parents, they call me Dada Maria. So I'm very accessible, and if I can't, I have a group of psychologists, physicians, and people who are around to help, you know. So I have a very solid group of friends. So someone can come and tell me, Doc, I have this problem, and I'll tell them, okay, I cannot help you. I'll move you to my friend who I think is in a capacity or in a position to give you more help.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks.
Most welcome.
Oh, thanks, Maria. Thanks, Isaac, for also provoking that. Anybody else with a comment, please just unmute. I hope, Kathy, we can unmute. I haven't seen Mercy as yet. She was on. I think she must have dropped.
I've allowed everyone to unmute themselves, so we can go ahead and have questions. I can see Dr. Antonine has unmuted. Maybe she can go ahead and before live.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Antonine.
Yes.
It's very nice to see you, Maria.
Thank you.
Doing a great job. You make us feel good to be teachers.
Thank you.
Now, I want to thank God for this program. I think I've personally learned when we were starting the program, it was quite hard reading. We did quite a bit of reading. I want to thank the boys and girls whom we were coaching. I think it took a lot of determination because everything was new from the normal parliamentary debate that we were used to. There was a lot of determination. They learned, they prepared, they read and they researched, and they wrote their cases and they presented. I'm very happy with what they did, particularly for my school and the girls that I was coaching. And I believe all the rest of the coaches went through the same program. So I want to thank all of them, the boys and girls. And I believe that we are going to make ourselves better people. There are a lot of intellect and a lot of, you know, in knowledge that will help you even to be a better Maria outside there. Sometimes when we are maybe in high school, we think some things are just bothersome for no apparent reason. But I think Maria has brought it out so well that it is just a stepping stone. So if you don't prepare yourself well for the future, maybe you may not fit in so well. So I'm happy and I'm grateful for the program. And I believe we are going to scale even more heights. We are going to even do more as we begin blogging and as we begin writing. I believe within no time, the boys and girls we see here are going to be great men and women in the future. And we bless everyone and thank you for this program.
Amen.
Amen. Clive wanted to say something?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Good to hear your voice. Good to hear your voice. Do we have anybody from Highway? Any student from Highway on call to greet us? Any school, I mean, just one person from any school to just greet us. I can see we were 27, now we are 22. That is good. And I also realized at some point there's a video that went on and I saw a dad who was accompanying the daughter. That was so nice.
Okay. I
Okay.
don't know if we should go with the list, maybe, so that we encourage people to speak.
Maybe you can do it. I think since we are not speaking much, in the next 2 minutes, people should just say hi, Gordon. Mr. Cueto, you can go ahead. I know that's a parent. That's a parent. Go ahead and speak.
Hey, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi.
Yes, it's Wanda from State House Girls.
Oh, great. Thank you, Wanda. Oh, so I think I saw your dad sitting next to you at some point. That was good. Mr. Gishangi, say something.
Evening, members.
Evening to you.
I think this is the right place to be on a Friday evening. And I'm so happy to be a part of this. Emerging Voices has definitely been a great experience. And listening to the story by Dr. Maria, Dada Maria, as she calls herself, is just amazing. And I look forward to the experiences we are about to share because I believe much better and much greater things are about to come. So God bless you all. Have a good weekend.
God bless. Amen. Thank you.
Oh, that is beautiful to hear. Do I see anybody who is? Okay, no. And talking about that, as Mr. Coach Gishangi has said, I know the American group is preparing to have a show. They want to do a debate on their side, a Lincoln Douglas debate on their side, and we will be able to watch. I do not know, but from the way we've been communicating, it might happen in April. Should it happen, we will bring us back again, and Dr. Maria will invite you. You might as well be part of us.
I don't mind at all. It's quite encouraging and quite interesting, actually.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Ibrahim. Yes?
I can see some comments on the chat. Maybe I could read that.
Yeah.
So there's a comment from Buana to everyone. I'd like to thank Dr. Maria for the motivational speech. Yeah, that's the one. That's the latest comment. The other one question which has been answered. Yes, so maybe we can proceed to the next person who would wish to speak to us.
Right. Yes, we can do that.
Free platform.
Okay, it's a free. Did I just say free? It's a free. It's a free platform. But I'm also a believer in keeping people's time, so that next time people don't think we took their time for news. So unless there's really one person who needs to speak, we have gone right to where we started. We can just have somebody say a prayer for us and just thank God that we are here. So who would like to pray for us? Wanda, can you pray for us? I'm just looking at the name that has come on the chat. Yeah, it would be nice to have a debater pray for us, isn't it? And Jemima, thank you so much for that comprehensive report. Judge Maina, thank you for those comprehensive reports. Wow. Oh, I can see Teacher Linda is also there from Lamu. Hi, Teacher Linda. God bless you. Okay. Oh, Mr. Johari, Ramadan is also here. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for, those are our, do I call them our brethren from Lamu? Right.
We have a comment. We have some comments on the
Go
chat.
ahead.
From Clive, Dr. Maria, your advice has really motivated me to go for the extra mile. May God bless you for helping the Kenyans in Ukraine. Then we have a comment from Faith. I am grateful to note that from this talk, we are able to pick the fact that determination is key.
That's beautiful. All right. So Michelle, yes?
I am so inspired. God bless you.
Amen. You are still talking. At least even through the chat, you have still spoken. But I think we'll need to finish here. Let's finish here for today.
Yeah, we do.
Before the holiday is over, I think we'll have one more. We may have one or two more. We'll just alert you in advance. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Maria, why won't you say a prayer now that you're on my screen?
Where is Wanda? I thought Wanda was blessed this evening. Where did Wanda disappear to?
Wanda, where are you?
Because it was supposed to be a debater. Where is she? She should use her voice to bless her.
I'm here.
There you go.
Great.
There, thank you, Wanda.
Okay, so let's pray. Father, Lord, we thank you for this wonderful event. And we thank you that you have had Dr. Maria to inspire us. For her beautiful words, Lord, may you inspire us and may you take us places so that we may be the next Marias for our generation. Bless